Tonight, find out why former world number one Adam Scott is now a no-go when it comes to this year's Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. While the PGA Tour returns to the Lone Star State, who are some of this week's favorites at the Valero Texas Open? Plus, current world number one Lydia Ko is trying to make it back to back to back in the Bay. We'll have a swinging skirts preview. And we're going to the top of the rock, the PGA Tour champions with the Bass Pro Legends of Golf. Some of the best moments are rolling at you straight ahead on Golf Central.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
Big news tonight from 2013 Masters champ Adam Scott, the Aussie publicly saying no to this summer's Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. Former world number one released a statement in which he said, "My decision has been taken as a result of an extremely busy playing schedule around the time of the Olympics and other commitments, both personal and professional. I've informed the Australian team captain and relevant authorities who are understanding of my position, and I wish the Australian Olympic team the very best of luck in Rio." So let's take a look at the summer schedule of notable events in this condensed Olympic year and notice the pretty hectic stretch with 3 majors in the span of 6 weeks, followed by golf's return to the Olympic Games 2 weeks after the PGA Championship. With that, hello and welcome into this edition of Golf Central. I'm George Savaricas. A lot to get on the board this evening, but we're going to start with an eye toward Rio as golf ends a 112-year absence in the Olympic Games this August. For more on Adam Scott's somewhat surprising decision, let's welcome in Golf Channel contributor Jeff Shackelford. And Jeff, what do you make of Scott deciding to skip the Olympic Games?
Well, obviously for the Olympics, George, it's disappointing because you want one of the elite players there and somebody who has shown himself to be an international ambassador to the game and loves traveling the world and loves playing in big-time events. But it's really not a big surprise. He's telegraphed this for a while now, and he made very clear that he is all about a certain schedule, and he is not very excited about this summer's schedule in terms of the Olympics and where those fit in. And so he let everybody kind of know this, and it really didn't come as a surprise in that sense. But obviously still, he will be missed there.
Given what's at stake as far as obviously an Olympic medal, but also with the sponsors having their athletes on a global platform, and you're trying to grow the game of golf, how big do you think it'll be for other guys in the top 5 or top 10 in the world to participate in these games?
Oh, it'll be very important, and most of them will. You know, this is going to be one of those cases where it's an elite player who doesn't play, but most of them will, knowing that obviously this is, first of all, a big deal to get a chance to win a gold medal, but then also to compete on this stage and send a message to the world. And most of the players, I think, feel very strongly about that. But Adam has also felt very strongly about his devotion to the major championships and to getting his rest. And I say good for him for being independent, but I think ultimately he'll be disappointed he didn't play because I think the golf course would have been great for him. And I think when he sees how popular golf is in the Olympics and what a hit that golf course and that setting is going to be, he might kick himself a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, hindsight is always 20/20. It'll be interesting to see his thoughts years down the road on deciding not to partake. Thanks for the time, Jeff.
Thank you.
Some very strong words from fellow Aussie Dawn Fraser, an 8-time Olympic medalist in swimming. She said in a Facebook post, "Very sorry to hear that Adam Scott cannot fit it into his schedule to play for Australia at the Olympics. Well done, Adam. Great to put your country on hold so that you can fulfill your own schedule. How much money do you want in life? Not showing much for your country. Well done, Adam. May you enjoy your sport and the money you earn gives you great pleasure. I am still trying to survive at 78 years old, but a very proud Australian." So here are the current standings for the Australian men's team. Remember, the guys who qualify will play in a 72-hole individual stroke play event. World number one Jason Day would automatically qualify since he's top 15. With Adam Scott out of the mix, Mark Leishman would jump in and take the second spot. And folks, remember, the opening ceremony for the 2016 Olympics is 170 days from now in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, but we're just mere hours away from the official Olympic torch lighting Wednesday. In ancient Olympia, Greece, 2,500 people attended a dress rehearsal for the Olympic torch relay. That begins on Thursday. Here are the scheduled events for the Summer Olympics, with the opening ceremony taking place on August 5th. The men's golf competition begins August 11th, while the women vie for their shot at a gold a week later, August 17th through 20th, with the closing ceremony winding things down a day later on August 21st. So for those of you wondering, who would represent the Stars and Stripes if qualifying ended today? Well, it's your lucky day. The team would be highlighted by Jordan Spieth and Bubba Watson. Ricky Fowler would make it 3 players in the top 5 in the world. Dustin Johnson rounding out the group of 4 at the moment. Here are the quote-unquote first 4 out. Remember, this is all based on your world golf rankings. So DJ at 8 is the cutoff. Patrick Reed at 13th is 5 spots back. Brandt Snedeker, Zach Johnson, and Brooks Koepka are also on the outside looking in, and all 4 guys are in the field this week. For more from TPC San Antonio, here's Scott Walker, who joins us live. And Reed is that first guy outside the bubble for the U.S. Olympic team. And Scott, you'd figure this was an easy trek for him from his home in Houston to this week's event in San Antonio.
Well, George, nothing is easy this week in Texas. Patrick Reed looked at the weather report on Sunday night and said, you know what, we think San Antonio might actually get more rain than Houston. We'll wait it out a day at home. That didn't work out very well. The Houston road closures meant they had to delay until Tuesday. So they got here yesterday, and he's on the golf course for the first time here in the Pro-Am today, which was shortened to 9 holes. But when I talked to Reed, he was very upbeat, including about the Olympics, saying anytime that you can put on the Stars and Stripes is a very good day. The key for Patrick Reed, though, is how to play his way onto that team.
All I can really control is how I play, and I just need to get a little better. I'm close, but it's not quite where it needs to be right now, so it's just making things a little harder, especially with Dustin. He's been in pretty good form, and he's been having some really good finishes here late, so the main thing is just go out and play some good golf, and hopefully put 3 or 4 rounds together. It just doesn't quite seem like I'm putting all 4 rounds together in 1 week, and I need to do that. And if I can do that, hopefully I get a couple wins before that time. But the main thing is just continue playing well, and it should take care of itself.
The Olympics is a great unknown right now. Nobody in golf really knows, but I think everybody understands the importance of it in the global scheme of the game of golf, the importance of having your country's flag on your chest and going to the opening ceremonies, and how cool that would be, because there's only very few athletes in the world that have been able to do that. So I think every golfer would kind of like to experience that just to see what it's like. But as far as the preparation for trying to make the team, everybody's just trying to play the best they can.
As of right now, it's my scheduling and my thought process, that's not remotely a part of it. I've learned when you try to make teams, when you try to accomplish this or that, the more you focus on it, for me, usually the worse it is. So, if I go day to day, week to week kind of thing, those kind of things take care of themselves, and that's going to be my approach.
Billy Horschel has an opportunity to make a Team USA, the Ryder Cup being his best opportunity. He's 19th in the current U.S. standings for that team. But Horschel hasn't won since the 2014 Tour Championship. That's, of course, when he also won the FedEx Cup. And as he told us in our Titleist Tour report, finding a way to get back in the winner's circle is a key to all his big picture goals.
I think the reason I like this course a lot is I think it's a true golf course. You can't fake it around here. You've got to hit it well. You've got to, think of it well around here. You got to have a good short game. You got to putt it well. So I think when it comes to a true test of the player's ability, I think this course, really is right up there with a couple others that I like throughout the year. So that's why I've played well here in the past. I'm looking forward to another good week. The San Antonio area is unbelievable. Fans are great. The hotel's great. The entire staff, it's a fun week. I think you see a lot of the families come here and have an enjoyable time.
So the weather report here is still a little bit dicey. There could be some rain that comes in overnight and then throughout Thursday. So, George, this will be a much softer golf course than the firm and fast and very windy golf course where Jimmy Walker won last year.
Definitely a change of pace from a year ago. Here's one of the feature groups to keep an eye on Thursday afternoon. Phil Mickelson with Luke Donald, the runner-up a week ago, and Brooks Koepka. They're teeing off at 1:50 Eastern Time. So I'm now joined by Golf Channel analyst Tripp Eisenhower. Tripp, that'll be a fun group to watch out of the game.
Yeah, no question about it. And if we look at Phil Mickelson and what he's done this year, well, he's come so close to winning, leading the tour in scoring average. In fact, Phil Mickelson's done everything but win a tournament. Of course, came so close at Pebble Beach earlier in the year. Luke Donald, there's Phil. You can see lefty. And really, George, it's due to the fact that his long game has gotten a lot more consistent. There's Luke Donald, and then Luke Donald's back doing what he does best, and that's performing well on and around the greens, and we saw that at Harbor Town last week. This may not be a golf course that you would expect Luke Donald to do well on, but it would be one I would expect that guy right there, Brooks Koepka, to do well on, because it takes some power, it takes some accuracy off the tee. He's got both, and let's remember, this year it's a big year for him because he's just 11th in Ryder Cup standings, so he would love to be part of that Ryder Cup team.
Well, a week ago, we didn't necessarily think it was going to be a perfect marriage between Brandon Grace and Harbor Town Golf Links, but Brandon Grace got his first PGA Tour win at the RBC Heritage. He's playing with Brandt Snedeker and Patrick Reed, those three guys off at 2 Eastern on number 1. So what sticks out to you about Grace?
Well, Brandon Grace finally winning on the PGA Tour. We knew it was just a matter of when he gets that PGA Tour win. 10 worldwide wins before that one that moved him to the 11th in the official world golf ranking. And Brandon Grace is poised to make a major run with some great venues for him the rest of this season. And then you go Patrick Reed. What I love about what Patrick Reed has done with his game, his short game has gotten markedly better. 6th in scrambling this year, and he's making a lot more cuts. And Brandt Snedeker, well, we know he won one of the toughest days we've seen. Of course, he was very fortunate to be done a little bit early there at Farmers and have to watch a lot of those players battle that Monday finish. But Brandt Snedeker has won, and on a difficult golf course, well, Brandt Snedeker, if the iron game's there, look for him to be part of the story.
We can catch the beginning of their first round right here on Golf Channel on Thursday with coverage beginning 2:30 Eastern Time. And we're just getting going tonight on Golf Central. Can Lydia Ko make it 3 in a row at the Swinging Skirts Classic? A preview ahead, and we're dealing you some of the best aces from the 2015 Bass Pro Legends of Golf. Trust me, it's well worth the wait.
Golf Central is brought to you by the Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. Make a difference in your game.